Hello everyone. Today we have Shivam with us, who scored 99.84 percentile in CAT 22 and will be joining IIM Calcutta. So welcome Shivam,
Thank you, sir. It's great to be here with you.
and congratulations on scoring such a great percentile and finally converting IIM Calcutta. So how is the feeling? How is the feeling? How are you feeling right now?
It's absolutely great. I mean, I feel honored and privileged to be part of such a renowned and reputed institution. And it is also satisfying at the same time when one sees one's hard work pay off. But it is also a new beginning, and I'm sure there's a lot that lies ahead.
Right. So tell us something about your academic background, your schooling, college.
So, sir, I grew up in 6 different cities across the country and completed my schooling from Ranchi, from Patna, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Bhopal, and then I pursued my undergraduate degree in chemical engineering from Pandit Deenayal Petroleum University, and I graduated in May 2022 and took CAT in another 6 or 7 months.
Okay, so this was your first attempt at CAT?
No, sir, it was my second attempt. I took CAT once in 2021 when I was in final year, but in that attempt I kind of screwed up my DILR. I made mistakes in one entire set, because of which my DILR percentile was around 50 and my overall percentile was around 93. Although my preparation was good enough, I was scoring well at mocks. I think made some temperamental mistakes during the exam, which is why I faltered. But I had this belief in myself that I could do well, which is why I took CAT again. And that year I scored well at IFT and even converted IFT Kolkata. But I decided to take CAT again.
Take one more attempt, right? And that was a good decision, because finally joining IIM Calcutta will take your career to much higher places.
Yes.
Right. So tell us about your CAT prep journey. How did you start, and when you actually thought of taking the CAT exam?
Yes, sir. So, sir, even before I joined undergraduation, I had this thought in my mind that I would pursue an MBA at one point in time, because I wanted my career in the management field. So I knew that I wanted to do MBA, and in late 2020, after the lockdown, I decided that I should start my prep so that I could get into a B school right after undergraduation. So that is when I started, and as I told you, my preparation was good. And when I joined Mindworkzz last year for my second attempt, my fundamentals were already right, and what I needed to focus on more was fine-tuning the concepts that I already knew, and also focusing on different approaches to solve the same question, so that I could narrow down on the one that consumed the least amount of time. This was my basic philosophy this time around.
Right. So when you started preparing, what were your strength areas?
Quant, sir, as always, has been my strength. Because right from the time I was at school, I was good at maths. So quant was something good. And throughout the preparation journey, I think I have developed good reading skills, because of which towards the end PARC was another section that I thought I could do well at. At the same time, because of what happened in CAT 2021, I thought of DILR as something that I needed to defend instead of attacking it.
So LRDI was your nemesis, right? It was the weakness.
Not just a nemesis, it is something where you find questions that are out of the box and quite unexpected. So it can put you off sometimes. So it is better there to play safe, I think. That is what I feel.
And so how did you prepare? Once you started preparing, you must have this in your mind that you need to score a decent percentile in LRDI, so that your overall cutoff is cleared, right? Yes. So how did you prepare, especially for LRDI?
So as far as LRDR is concerned, I first looked at all the basic or the traditional kind of sets that have been appearing in CAT and other management exams over the years, like the ones involving arrangement or the ones involving puzzles and games and tournaments and stuff like that. So that was the basics hygiene factor, as I would say.
Right.
And apart from that, I focused a lot on the mocks. So out of all the mocks that I took, I made sure that I practiced each set at least twice, so that I had an idea about what different sets look like, and so that I could get the approach as soon as I read the question during the exam. So apart from that, I also took a lot of sectionals to improve my confidence, and I took careful, meticulous notes about the mistakes I was making.
Okay.
So that helped me. And apart from that, during the exam, I tried looking at all the sets first, and then I targeted the easier ones first, at least 2 sets, and then once those were done, and if I had more time, I would go on to other ones. So that way I was attempting around 10, 12 or 14 questions overall.
Okay.
The IIM.
So, lot of students feel that when they take mocks, especially in the month of September, October, November, the score sometimes is very high, and the immediate next test it goes low.
Yes.
So, was it the same with you, or you had a constant increasing graph?
No, sir. There will be. You definitely have mocks where your scores will dip, and there will definitely be mocks where you score quite high. So fluctuations are always there. But then I took mocks like batsmen take balls in test matches where the pitch is completely clean, or has lots of cracks, and the odd ball seams and stays low and things like that. So I took one mock at a time, and my major aim with mocks was to gain as much as I could, and apart from thinking too much about the scores, I would focus more on the learnings and the insights I could draw from each one.
So, in which month you started feeling that you will get an 99 plus?
Throughout, sir, after I think September or August, September, when I started taking mocks more seriously, and even after October, I started feeling that I could do well. And when I showed my graph to Arun Sharma Sir, and when he was like, yes, you're on the right track, you can do well, that was certainly a confidence booster, because his words carry a lot of heft. He's already has a lot of, a big stature in this CAT prep stand.
Right. So, how Arun Sir's feedbacks and the way he prepared videos for you for your batch, especially in the LRDI segment, how did that help you?
So as I told you, sir, I was focusing more on tips and tricks, and that is what I found with Arun Sharma Sir. The kind of simple explanation he would provide, and since, I mean, as he's always told in our classes as well, he has not learned maths the traditional way. He has learned it his own way, the unorthodox style. So that helped me a lot, because I used to solve questions the traditional way. So the unorthodox style that Arun Sharma Sir follows helped me in reducing the time I took in solving questions. So it was quite helpful. Apart from that, this I would say would be the hard aspect of preparation. But there's another soft aspect where he talks about the mental makeup that one should have during exams, the peaceful warrior sessions. They were extremely helpful, especially because I, kind of was overwhelmed in CAT 2021. So that was something that proved to be immensely helpful.
Okay. So, talking about your interview prep, after you scored a good percentile in CAT, so how did you prepare for the interview, and how was the entire experience with Mindworkzz?
Yes, sir. It was, sir, the experience with Mindworkzz was great, sir. The sessions that happened were insightful, and they gave us a good hang over current affairs. Okay. And apart from that, sir, the sessions we had with Vinay sir were also extremely engaging, and the way we looked back at what we had done in the past was something of a learning, I would say. I kind of rediscovered myself, and also improved the self-confidence that I had, because I could realize that I'd done so much earlier. The extracurriculars boosted my confidence, and apart from that, the constant academic performance that I had was also something that I realized. And it just makes you take a step back and take a look at your life. That's good.
Right. So, talking about your interview in the B schools,
Yes, sir.
how many interviews did you give, and which was the most peculiar interview which you faced?
So I think I gave around 14 to 15 interviews in total,
Okay.
and it ended on the 27th of April with IFT and began on 18th of January with IIM Calcutta. It's quite a long
Okay.
time of duration.
Right.
And I think the most peculiar interview I had was for XLRI Jamshedpur for the
Okay.
BM program, I would say, because
Mhm.
I'd mentioned this thing about the triple bottom line in one of my answers to the questions
Mhm.
that they had sent us. So
Okay.
I don't know what happened to the professors. They took this one line out of my answers, and virtually the entire interview, the entire 25 minutes, they were discussing the same thing, and they were cross questioning quite a lot, and the entire 25 minutes was quite thrilling and stressful for me.
Okay. So the entire interview revolved around one single line.
Yes, sir, the triple bottom line, and they were like, you learned this theoretical concept. What practical knowledge do you have about it? All that.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So, one last question. The current aspirants who will be appearing for CAT 23, they
Yes,
would
sir.
definitely want to seek advice from you regarding what do you think they should do so that they also get a 99.5, 99.7 plus in the CAT exam.
Yes,
What
sir.
will be your advice to them?
So the first thing would be take mocks as early as possible. Start taking them, and also focus on sectionals because they are a great tool to improve confidence and skill in the section that you think you're not really confident about. So that is one thing, and also analyzing the mocks and sectionals, taking note of the mistakes that you make in a notebook so that you can revisit them, revise them. That definitely helps. Uh,
Mhm.
the second thing I would say would be to practice as much as possible because that makes solving questions, subconscious ability that you have. And as Arun Sharma says quite frequently, during the exam, you can then let your instincts take over so that
Right.
you don't think about anything else and subconsciously you can solve questions. I think that is something that I did because of the practice I had done. And
Mhm.
because I do not remember the kind of questions that were there in the exam, it was all subconsciously that I was solving, and the practice had enabled me to do that. So
Right.
this is another point, and the third point would be once the admit card is released, try or you must take mocks uh, at that time of the day when you're supposed to take the examination, so that your mind and body gets acclimatized to that
Right.
routine. And you should also make sure that you sit for half an hour and do nothing before the mock. So because that is what you're supposed to do during the exam. After the verification and registration is done, you have to sit there for 45 minutes or half an hour before the exam starts. And it is there that unwanted thoughts start coming into your mind, and that can unsettle a lot of people. So if you make it a habit, you do it for 30 days, because admit cards do release 1 month before the exam. Do it for 30 days. I'm sure you'll get into a habit of that, and then that void during the exam will not bother you quite a lot.
That's a very valid point because people don't
Yes.
talk about it. But the last 30 minutes before the exam, when the mock starts, if
Yes,
you have to sit idle without phone, without anything, it
yes, sir.
becomes quite a task to calm yourself and to
Yes,
release
sir.
the anxiousness. So that's very important.
Yes, sir.
So thanks, Shivam, for pointing that out. And we had a great conversation. And we wish you all the best for your new journey and in IIM Kolkata. And we'll always be there to help you in your MBA journey as well. So feel free to reach us. Okay. Thank you once again, and all the best.
Thank you, sir, for your guidance and your support, and thank you to the entire Mindworkzz team for being there for any kind of help that I needed during my trip. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.